Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In my last video, I did a comparison of the American Express booking portal and the Chase booking portal. And the conclusion of that video is that if you want to get good deals at a rate of 1.5 cents per point, the Chase booking portal is fantastic. Now, the American Express booking portal is another story. Potentially, you can get some good deals on flights, but universally with hotels, it's pretty bad. And a lot of people in the comments section were saying, well, where are these good deals for my Amex points? How do I get 2 cents per point like so many other YouTubers say you can do? So in this video, we're going to talk about that. The real power of your American Express points is with transfer partners. Now, the Amex Gold gives you 4x on dining and eating out. The Platinum card gives you 5x on booking flights. Getting more points with American Express is only valuable if you're willing to put in the time and effort to transfer out your partners to American Express's transfer partners. If you want, once again, simplicity and just use the portal redemption, it's the same as Expedia with Chase. Chase is a better option if you want simplicity. But Amex is the high risk, high reward. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how do you get 2 cents per point on economy bookings. First thing that I have to say is it's not difficult to get good point redemption values on business or first class flights. If this is a ticket that normally sells for $8,000 and you spend 200,000 Amex reward points on it, then congrats, you got 4 cents per point. But in my opinion, 200,000 points for a luxury experience, personally, that's just not where I am in my life. I would rather do quantity of trips over quality of trips. Now, obviously, there are lots of people in the points and miles game who are trying to redeem for first class and business flights. But a lot of people who commented on my last video, they're in the same camp as me. And they're saying, how do I get good point redemption values for economy flights? Just the lowest point total that I can get in order to take, decent vacations. In order to achieve this, you have to have a couple realizations first. The first one is you're not going to be able to do exactly what you want to do. So if you say, hey, I have a 5-day weekend over Thanksgiving, how do I get 2 cents per point booking a flight leaving on Wednesday and coming back on Sunday? It's not going to work like that. If you want the best point redemption values, you have to take what the airlines are offering. This means being very flexible on what days you fly in and out, what times you fly in and out, and most importantly, you're going to have to travel in off-peak times of year. The busiest travel months for the airlines are always the summers when kids are out of school, so June, July, August, and then the holidays, November, December, and January. So the best economy bookings for point values is always going to be, in that February, March, April, May area, or maybe like September, October. My first tip for finding good redemption values is to just cheat. Find other people's work, other people who put in the time and effort to find good deals, and then just copy what they do. A really good online forum that you should check out is called Flyer Talk. If you just Google Flyer Talk and then click on miles and points, it'll take you to this web form, and you don't have to create a user account in order to see what was written, but if this is something that you want to seriously pursue, budget bookings in order to travel the world, then go ahead and create a username and password. And this website is full of discussion threads that talk about all the major airlines, and a lot of these airlines are partnered with American Express. For example, Aer Lingus, Air Canada, Air France. We have Delta, we have Emirates, we have Qantas. And this web forum is a place for people to share where are the good point bookings, where are the good dollar bookings. So if you're into finding good redemptions, definitely check this website out. The next tip I have for you is just to Google whatever airline you want to fly and then type in deals. So for example, if you Google Delta SkyMiles deals, you click on this website, and Delta does promotions. These airlines all advertise what flights they have at good redemption rates because, they want to make their customers and supporters happy. So right now, going on, these are the SkyMile deals. You've got, for example, a lot of flights to Asia, Denver to Seoul, Indianapolis to Japan, Seattle and Detroit to Beijing, Cincinnati to Nagano, Los Angeles to Shanghai. It just so happens that all the deals going on right now are to Asia, but if your goal is to travel the world and you have a long list of places that you want to go to, just do whatever the airlines want this year. In 3 to 6 months, this list of deals is going to change. Potentially next year, they'll have really good flights to Central and South America. Maybe the year after that, really good flight redemptions to Western Europe. In order to get the best point redemption values, you just have to be flexible about when you leave and where you go. And you can do this for all the airlines that are partnered with American Express. So for example, Aer Lingus, just Google Aer Lingus flight deals or Aer Lingus point deals, and the website's going to advertise what specials they have going on right now. For example, with Aer Lingus, you can fly from Boston to Dublin round trip in April for only $469. Now, I don't think you're going to find that exact same flight for only 20,000 points. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you, for example, find a flight that's a really good dollar deal, then maybe you want to save your points for later. Like being flexible with spending your points or spending cash is the best option you should be always pursuing when redeeming your points. You can do the same thing with Air France. You can do the same thing with Qantas. This will take you to Australia and New Zealand. British Airways, and today's video I want to focus on Delta because I feel like most of the people who watch my videos are Americans, since I talk a lot about credit cards that only Americans can get, and Delta just has, in my opinion, the easiest website to navigate. You don't even have to register or have an account in order to look for the best point redemptions. So I've already taken some time to get some good flights with Delta, and let's go through a couple of these where you're either getting, in economy, 2 cents per point or close to 2 cents per point. Now, when doing a search on Delta's website, there are 2 additional websites that I recommend that you bring up. The first one is Google Flights. Just search Google Flights. This is nice because when you're on an airline's website, obviously you're only seeing the flights with that airline or their partners. But potentially there's a different airline that is offering that same route or flight for a cheaper rate. In that case, you might not want to book with that airline and you might want to go with a different airline. So whenever I look for flights, I always want to compare it against Google Flights to make sure that I am getting the best value. The next thing you might want to pull up just to kind of give you inspiration and ideas is the Delta SkyMiles route map. And it's an interactive route map, and a lot of airlines have a similar feature or tool. And this is really cool. I really enjoy playing around on this. And it's a world map, and this is interactive, and it'll show you all of the routes that you can take with Delta Airlines. The first thing you notice is that there are blue dots, and then there are blue triangles with red names. The red named cities, Amsterdam, Paris, Detroit, Cincinnati, Salt Lake City, these are Delta hubs. These are the airports that Delta primarily does all of their transfers through. It's where their major operations are out of. These are the airports where you're most likely going to get the best point redemptions because this is where Delta bases most of their operations. For fun, let's zoom in on where I currently am. I'm currently in this town right here. This is Minot, North Dakota. And if you click Show Destinations, it shows you everywhere that Delta flies. And it's just one route, just from Minot to Minneapolis. So when I'm planning a vacation or a trip with my points, I'm always looking for the best value or best deals out of Minneapolis. So let's click on Minneapolis and then do Show Destinations. And boom, look at that. So it is now showing me everywhere that I can get to from Minneapolis. And we got to zoom out in order to see what are my international options? I can get to Honolulu, not international, but where is far away that I can take an interesting vacation? There's a flight to Tokyo, flight to Seoul, flight to Iceland, London, Amsterdam, Paris. There's also a couple of flights to Alaska. So if you live near one of these major hubs, this might be your best first option. Go to this map and then click on the city where you're most likely to fly out of and just see where are my fun destinations? Where can I get to that would make for an awesome vacation? The other option you have is where do I want to get to? Where do I want to go? Let's say, for example, you wanted to go to Beijing, China. This is your end point. So you have to say, well, what flights can I get on that go there that potentially might be a good redemption value? So here, for example, if we're trying to get to Beijing, there is a flight that leaves from Detroit. So let's start by searching for Detroit to Beijing. How do you spell Beijing? Beijing. And remember, you kind of have to go in off-peak times. At the time of filming this video, it's January. So let's say that you're trying to book in 3 to 6 months in advance. So let's pick a time in April and say you want to go for a week. When searching on Delta's website, you need to select Shop with Miles. It'll automatically select My Dates Are Flexible, and this is going to give you a grid pattern showing you the best point redemption values when trying to book this flight. When we get the comparison grid, it is showing us that for 44,000 Delta Sky Miles, I can go to Beijing for a week. And once again, this is a non-stop flight from April 7th to April 14th. If we switch the filter to US dollars, we can check to make sure what was the cost of that flight. And the points were 44,000, and the flight is going to be $797. So that's not quite 2 cents per point, but it's actually very close. It's probably close to like 1.7, 1.8. We can then go to Google Flights in order to compare it, and it's telling us that, with one stop on JetBlue, you can get this ticket for $605. Air Canada with 2 stops or 1 stop, it's $700. But Delta is the only one where it's non-stop, 13-hour flight. And yeah, once again, it's telling you $798, which is the same as the website, and the point redemption was only 44,000. Okay, let's go back to the interactive map, and let's pretend you want to get somewhere warm and sunny. Let's choose Cancun, Mexico. How do we get to Cancun? And you'll see, once again, most of the major hubs make it to Cancun. Let's try Salt Lake City, for example. So let's do a booking from Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City to Cancun. And we'll search. When we look at the search results, there's a lowest range of 31,000 between April 7th and April 15th. For fun, let's just switch these dates and let's try and go in May. Let's see if the point value is better when redeeming in May. And yeah, sure enough, if we just are willing to adjust when we go by a month, we can get a flight from Salt Lake City to Cancun for only 28,000 points. Let's compare that on Google Flights. On Google Flights, it's telling us that with one stop, we can fly Frontier for $334. But on Delta, partnered with Air Mexico, it's nonstop for $523. So if you are booking it for 28,000 Delta Sky Miles and the cost of the flight, we can switch this to US dollars. It's showing us $557. There is a difference actually between the flights on Google Flights and then the Delta's website. I'm not sure why, but yeah, it's still really close to 2 cents per point in economy booking. Let's go back to the interactive map, and let's say that you want to get to Paris. We'll click on Paris, show destinations. And yeah, there's a lot of flights going from Paris to America. Let's try and get out of Houston. So let's search from Houston to Paris, same dates, and we'll search. From Houston to Paris, I'm seeing 62,000 Delta Sky Miles. Let's switch this to dollars and let's see what is the actual cost of that flight. And the cost of this flight, it's saying it's about $1,042. On Google Flights, it's showing it for $983. So, you're getting a little over 1.5 cents per point. Let's do one more. On the interactive map, let's say you're trying to get to London. Where can you get to London from in America? Let's go ahead and try a flight from Atlanta to London. I'm seeing flights for about 50,000 Delta Sky Miles. We can do a price comparison. What would that be in US dollars? And we're seeing flights for $898. So yeah, when you account for the taxes and fees, you're getting close to 1.5 cents per point or slightly better. Okay guys, I hope this video was helpful and it kind of inspired you how you can get the best point redemption value for your flights in economy. Once again, you got to be flexible. You got to go where the airlines have the discounts. If traveling is just what you want to do at this point in your life, You also have to be willing to take those Tuesday flights or those 5 a.m. flights because that's what the airlines need to fill up, so they're willing to give you those at a point discount. If you feel like this is too much effort or too much work, then maybe having a credit card setup that earns you points and miles isn't your best option, and you'd be better off with a no annual fee cashback card setup. That's still a great option if, for example, you don't think this is the best idea for you. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up so the algorithm knows it's good. In addition, consider subscribing to my channel. I post weekly about military and finance topics. And if you have any tips or tricks for anyone else part of the channel, how to get good redemption value for your economy flights, leave me a comment down below because I'm still learning how to do this and I need to know how to get better at this. And definitely, if I learn something good, I will share it in future videos. Till the next one, take care.